the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal.
Keeping our communities clean starts at home, but it's not a one-man job. It's a partnership. Tie your garbage bags properly, separate leaf and tree cuttings from regular waste, don't mix bulky waste with household garbage. Small actions make a big difference. When you do your part, collection is smoother, our workers are safer, and your community stays cleaner. NSWMA is here for you. Let's work together, because Jamaica's beauty is our duty.
Attention all data protection enthusiasts. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM every Tuesday at 8:20 a.m. and Thursday at 8:25 a.m. for a new program, Data Protection Matters. Starting June 4, 2024, join us as we delve into crucial topics that will keep you informed and compliant. Data Protection Matters is hosted by Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy, your trusted partner in data protection. Don't miss out. That's every Tuesday morning at 8:20 and every Thursday at 8:25 a.m. Stay protected, stay informed with Nationwide 90 FM and Design Privacy.
Expungement of criminal records provides eligible Jamaicans with a second chance at life. Apply today. The time by the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs is
10 o'clock.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, it's 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and it's 22 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255. Or find us on Facebook at Nationwide News Network and follow us on Twitter at Cliff Nationwide. You can also listen to Cliff Hughes Online live on the World Wide Web at nationwideradiojm.com or via the Nationwide 90 FM app on your mobile phone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are out in the field today. We're in White House, Westmoreland. In the foreground, the Caribbean Sea, blue and calm. in the water sits a yacht. That's what compass. That's a 60 foot, 40 foot. Him say it big, big, big. White yacht in the foreground, sitting on peaceful Caribbean Sea. We're at the White House Community Center, down the road from where the White House Fishing Village, down that road. And on the field where I'm assuming they play football here, there's a tent put up by, is that World Food Kitchen, Nora? No, it's Samaritan's Purse. So they're conducting a clinic. People going to attend to their health needs. I've seen a lot of people coming in since we've been here, just before 9 this morning. And the community carrying on the activities that communities do. We are setting up to hand out some care packages to those who still need a leg up in this phase of the Hurricane Melissa recovery. And driving down from Kingston this morning. Let me tell you, there's a lot of work to be done on many things. Let's start with the roads. From the moment you leave Santa Cruz and you hit La Covia, Coffee's Pen, and you come down, murder for Samantha. The road bad. The roads are in terrible condition, as you would expect, because they weren't so wonderful before Melissa. And with the amount of water they took on and the pounding and everything else, and the heavy equipment that has been traversing the roads all the way from La Covia to Westmoreland. Yeah? Middle quarters, coming down to Luana. You turn right, swing right to go to Hodges Land, and you pass there and you come around. Brompton Road, bad. So a lot of work ahead of the authorities to do to get the road surfaces back. Don't mention Holland Bamboo. Although I've told someone that I don't mind Holland Bamboo Road being bad, because that's what prevents the taximen and the busmen from flying on those roads. But at the same time, we still need the road to be good so that people don't have to be going to the repair shop every week to go fix suspension and front end, eh? And when you look at the houses in White House, you know, it was always a pleasing sight. Come on, you see the signs of opulence, of wealth, of people who've done well for themselves and have invested in their homes. Always a pleasing sight. Boy, Melissa treated those homes like rag dolls. Roofs gone. Some people have built back their roofs. Others haven't yet started the repair process. Some are partway through. And it's going to be a long way back. You know what they say? Recovery from a natural disaster such as a hurricane, at its quickest, it takes 3.5 years, with housing being the most difficult thing to repair. So a few months into this Hurricane Melissa recovery effort, not even an unreasonable person would gripe at the state of the recovery. And the literature says 3.5 years, and I'm looking at literature, looking at what happened after Hurricane Andrew, after Katrina in the US, after other hurricanes in this hemisphere, and how long it took governments far more powerful and richer than ours to help their people get back on their feet. So the repair job is going to take a mighty, mighty long time. Good to see Samaritan's Purse still here, still doing the job, still providing healthcare services to the folks here in Westmoreland. And this is Dr. Campbell's constituency, Nora. Yes. Dr. Dayton Campbell. This is Eastern Westmoreland. And there's a lot of work to be done right around the horn. I was programmed by my producer to deal with a matter concerning, well, to lead into the broadcast today, because we're here in furtherance of our Hurricane Melissa relief and outreach efforts. You know, Nationwide 90 FM has taken on the role of being the broadcaster of this Hurricane Melissa recovery effort. We've been on the road. We've been doing our small part That continues today. Packages being unloaded from our vehicle. People gathering already. And they'll get their bag and they'll go. And then we'll be speaking to people from the various state agencies who have a role to play in the recovery effort. Because it's never a bad time to help your fellow Jamaican. And it's always a good time to show the humanness that makes us different from animals and inanimate objects. It's never a bad time to say, here, have this, you are welcome. So Chevron's wrap, Nora, will have to wait a little while because of what came through this morning. A statement from the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association that has me thinking, and I want to share it with the listeners, the viewers this morning. Nora, apologies for departing from your script. But the headline of the statement, it didn't make it in time for the news cycle at 6 and 7 on Nationwide this morning. It says, the JHTA rejects proposed increase in GCT on tourism activities. It reads, the Jamaica Hotel and the Tourist Association, JHTA, has adopted a firm and unified position rejecting the proposed increase in the general consumption tax on tourism activities as outlined in revenue measures recently tabled in Parliament by the Honourable Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Favour Williams. The proposal indicates that effective April 1, 2027, providers of tourism activities would move from the current 10% GCT rate to 15%, a 50% increase, significantly, he says, raising costs within the tourism sector. Although implementation has been deferred to the next fiscal year in recognition of ongoing recovery challenges, the JHTA maintains that any increase in GCT affecting tourism is untenable. You hear that line? The JHTA maintains that any increase in GCT affecting tourism is untenable. JHTA President Christopher Jarrett says, quote, the tourism sector is already operating in a highly competitive and cost-intensive global environment. Increasing GCT on tourism activities by 5 percentage points would directly impact pricing, competitiveness, and ultimately demand. The JHTA stands unequivocally opposed to this proposed tax increase. The association emphasized that the sector continues to navigate elevated operating costs, recovery pressures, and global market uncertainties. An additional tax burden at this stage would risk slowing recovery momentum and placing further strain on operators across the value chain, including these small and medium-sized enterprises that form the backbone of the industry. The JHTA further underscored that tourism is fundamentally an export industry earning foreign exchange for Jamaica and should be treated accordingly within the national tax framework. International best practice generally supports zero rating or exempting exports from consumption taxes. Historically, however, tourism has operated under a GCT regime that is inconsistent with this principle. In the context of broader tax reform, the association asserts that the treatment of tourism under the GCT system should be re-evaluated, not intensified. President Jarrett added, quote, our responsibility is to safeguard the long-term viability of this industry. Any policy that increases operational costs must be carefully measured against its impact on employment, visitor arrivals, and Jamaica's overall economic performance. We believe this proposed increase would have negative consequences across the sector. The JHTA confirmed that this position reflects full consensus among its membership chapters and tourism stakeholders, ensuring clarity and consistency in representation of the country's interests, of the industry's interests, beg your pardon. The association will continue to advocate for policies that promote sustainable growth, resilience, and global competitiveness within Jamaica's tourism sector. What a statement. What a statement from the JHTA. And even though you know how I think, listeners, viewers, I always look at things from the perspective of the stakeholder, because I've said repeatedly, life is about self-interest, and problems in life, not all of them, but many of them, germinate from situations where self-interests clash. This is one such situation where self-interests are colliding. So the government, on behalf of the people of Jamaica, proposes a move. The JHTA, in doing the business of its group of stakeholders, which is of course smaller than the group of stakeholders that the government is responsible for. The government is responsible for the whole country and all stakeholders therein. The JHTA only responsible to its small, its tiny, relatively speaking, group of stakeholders. Those self-interests are colliding in this issue, on this matter. That's how you have to look at these things. Otherwise, you're going to be ranting and raging at everything you see that you disagree with. So that is the basis of understanding, accepting that in life, self-interests will collide, that in life, self-interests collide often, and that it is a part and parcel of everyday life. Okay? Set that aside, because we accept that and we agree with that. Drill down into it now. Is the JHTA saying that in this time of crisis, in this time that a set of circumstances exist that have never been visited upon this country before? Not in its independent history since 1962, not before. That in this unprecedented time, other sectors should carry the burden, but not them? Is that what the JHTA is saying? And obviously, some will say, no, George, that's not what we're saying. But how can you not be saying that when your leader issues this statement? Is the question I'm asking. So the rest of us, and the rest of the business people who've been affected by taxes or who are going to be affected by taxes, and then all Jamaicans who will invariably be affected by the tax package and the projected takings that the government has penciled in under the various headings, we all must bear the burden, carry our share of the cross, because Holiness and his government are walking with a hell of a cross, and on the Calvary, them are going to go further than that. So they are walking with this cross. And the rest of Jamaica must put your shoulder to a piece of the cross and help carry it. But the tourism interests must sit in the shade, lemonade in hand, and give us moral support as we carry that cross. Is that what you're saying this morning, Mr. Jarrett? And the basis on which you say that, because that is what you're saying, based on your statement, is that in other countries, tourism activities as an export product, zero rated, and should be exempt from taxation. And the fact that you were paying 10, oh, by the way, for how long have you been paying 10% when other sectors have been paying 15? You had no problem with that then, obviously not. But now, you've been asked to step up to 15. And you're behaving like Henny Penny, as if the sky is going to fall in. And I understand self-interest, Mr. Jarrett, as I've established before. But the ultimate question is, in these unprecedented times, where the country is carrying a collective burden, what right do you have and the players in the tourism sector to ask the rest of Jamaica to lift and walk with this cross, carry this burden, while you sip lemonade in the shade and encourage us to walk strong? What time is it? 10:17. Break time. Back with more after these.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light.
The Time brought to you by the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Fueling growth everywhere is
10:17.
We're going to reconstruct areas that were damaged, but we're going to do it with a forward thinking. We're going to seek to include new businesses and new infrastructure, including new towns, new roads, new schools, new hospitals. We have to build them with the next hurricane, the next shock in mind. We have to build them with resilience.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
A my peeps, get tested on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. The least you ever test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Real long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Real long life, our story. Real long life with a youth coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
So some of you have been listening longer than I've been talking on radio. So this is our way of keeping it strong together. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon and stay with us.
Make we keep Jamaica clean. Me as if we keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica clean. Our duty to keep our island clean. Mobile to Kingston, sidewalk and beach. Bag it, bin it, recycle it, please. Proper garbage disposal, make we do it. Keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady.
Back with us on Cliff Hughes Online, coming to you from the White House Community Center in Eastern Westmoreland, and the political constituency controlled and represented in Parliament by Dr. Dayton Campbell, the PNP General Secretary. And we are here continuing our Hurricane Melissa relief program or agenda of providing assistance to people and bringing them closer to the people in government who are in charge of the services that can help these people get back on their feet. It's a difficult thing recovering from a hurricane. Developed countries, they say the average time, well, they say it's quick if it happens within 3.5 years, but it often takes far longer than that. So, a few months into this recovery effort in Jamaica, criticism has to be managed. Yeah, and frustrations abound, but at the same time, we have to be reasonable about how well we expect everybody to get their home back, everybody to get back on their feet. It's going to take a long time. Yeah. At the same time, we have to keep the government on its toes. We have to press them. We have to exert pressure where pressure is necessary. No free rides here as people struggle. Yeah. But at the same time, we have to be reasonable. And on the point of being reasonable, what is true is that taxes will have a damaging effect on pricing and competitiveness. All the things Mr. Jarrett pointed out. And the other thing that is true is that governments have a tendency, once they levy taxes, to not roll them back even when things get better in the economy. It's a fact. Across generations, across countries, across regions of the world. It's what governments do. So you can understand why stakeholders bawl when there's an adjustment, unfavorable adjustment in their tax arrangements. Because I must say, yeah, well, even if we get back to equilibrium, you're not going to remove this tax. And when the taxes were levied, Favour Williams hasn't spoken in the budget debate, it hasn't started. So she hasn't said for what time or after what point they'll review. So you can understand Mr. Jarrett being spooked. And I'm trying my best to understand Mr. Jarrett because of the value of his statement. There's so much to disagree with just on the strict reading of the statement, because the statement reads like a response from a stakeholder group in an environment where an economy is struggling because of bad management. The finances have fallen apart because of bad management. And to fix or to hide its bad management, the government then turns around. And rather than get its house in order so that public investment in infrastructure development and capital projects can run apace, and that private sector doesn't have many obstacles in their way as they look to do business and hire people, rather than do that, the government just raises taxes. That's what the statement reads like. The statement is ignorant of the reality facing Jamaica. There's not a word in the statement that makes any allowance for the unprecedented nature of the disaster recovery facing the government. Nothing. It's as if it's a tax measure imposed in normal times. And so you have to write a strong statement and reject it. All right, Mr. Jarrett, so the GHT rejects it. What happens come 2027 when it's leveled? It's levied. And oh, that's another point again. You're being given a year to get your house in order. A year to do some recovery. Clearly a year won't put many properties back to where they were, and the sector won't be as productive. It won't be as... the word in my head is a word I don't want to use because then I'm going to have to give a definition for it, but it's what I'm thinking. Fecund, F-E-C-U-N-D. Prolific, producing many offspring. It's not as fecund as before. It's restricted in what it is producing, obviously because of the disruption caused by Melissa. So these are the times we're operating in. And the JHTA comes out with a belligerent statement, a capricious statement as well. Almost warlike in a decent way. In a time when a government is struggling to find revenue to plug the gaps that exist. You know, when you look at every area that is being taxed, I'm sure everybody will tell you that, well, we don't agree with the tax and we wish that we weren't. But how many of those sector leaders have put out a statement as fighting, as belligerent as this one from the JHTA? I think the JHTA statement is borderline vulgar in context. It's as if the things we know about the Melissa damage, the things we know about the cost of the Melissa damage, the things we know about the huge gap that exists between available financing to the government and the expected spend to get us back to equilibrium. It's as if those things that we know are not known to the JHTA. Somebody go into that room where the JHTA sit and turn on the light, please. They're in darkness. This is an attack on a position, on a vulnerable country where finances are not just shaky, the finances have in some cases collapsed. And with the forward planning and the instruments that we were able to design and the way the economy was being managed up to Melissa, we got a leg up on the pony. How a horse runs in a race, you have to run with certain equipment. Horse has to have a bridle, there has to be a saddle, the horse has to have a bit between its teeth because that's how you control the animal. So the government gets a leg up, it needs a saddle, it needs a bit, it needs a halter, it needs a girth strap. And these are the things that the government is looking around and saying, okay, this area can help, that area can help. It's not punitive. None of the taxes levied across any of the areas are intended to punish the people in those areas. It's just where the resources can come from. Now, I wish that the government held to its word and was not taking money out of the NHT. Of course I wish that. Like so many people. Professor Floyd Morris from the PNP for one. But where does there exist resources that can help in this time, in this emergency? And that's the question. And I just have a problem with sector leaders looking at us, writing fancy words on paper, motivated by a need to show controlled anger, being belligerent in your use of words, and what you're communicating. We don't want to help with the recovery effort because that's exactly what this JHTA statement is saying. Mr. Jarrett and his members are telling us this day, we don't want to help. Every other sector can help. We don't want to help. We don't want to innovate. We don't want to partly absorb, partly get back some of what we're going to spend on GCT from the clients. We don't want to competitively price. We don't want to do that. Because how in God's name in this statement can you talk about the industry really ought not to be taxed in the first place. In these times, Mr. Jarrett, are you tone deaf, sir? And when you circulated this draft among your membership, your members said, yes, send that on our behalf. I sometimes I wonder, you know, I struggle sometimes. I struggle sometimes with understanding people. There's nothing wrong in saying, boy, in 2027, you've given us a year to prepare. It's going to have a deleterious impact. It's going to squeeze us. We're in an ultra-competitive industry. Tourists may say, well, a vacation in Jamaica is too expensive based on the fact that we're going to have to recoup the taxes that you're asking us to pay additionally. But, you know, we wish that wasn't happening, and we want the minister in her budget presentation to tell us for how long this will last and what other areas of reprieve can the government provide that can help us to carry this additional burden of 5 percentage points more for the time being until we get back to equilibrium and we can go back to a 10%. Say that. You're a smart man, Mr. Jarrett. Intelligent guy. And you have intelligent people around you. But what use intelligence if you do not use it in those circumstances where it has to be applied? And though the JHTA members feel proud of themselves, on this day in sports, Friday, February 20, 2026, sending a message like this to the country, that everybody else must help the Melissa recovery, but not us. What a thing. Break time here on Cliff Hughes and Line. Back with more after these.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me.
Mark's, a superstore, Lionel Town and Portland Cottage Bear, Clarendon, has all your hardware needs.
Visit our expanded showroom today and shop at leisure for your building materials, furniture, and appliances.
Take advantage of the 10% discount every Thursday on all brands cooking gas.
The Time by Mark's Superstore, helping you build dreams from the ground up, is
10:31.
Eclipse Enterprise is your go-to source for billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. Telephone 876-960-3891. The temperature by Eclipse Enterprise is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, it's 26 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Let's go! Bag it and bin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this a we island. So keep Jamaica, say make we do it, keep Jamaica clean. Beg you listen to me please, no plastic bag, no fear blowing at the breeze. No. Proper garbage, disposal, recycle plastic, now make it full up in the streets. Bag it and bin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this a we island. So keep Jamaica, say make we do it. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special. The Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others, will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, Bronze, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Silver, Nationwide VIP, breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
our gold category, elite listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to lifetime, impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90 FM, the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and
Back with us on Cliff Hughes Online. Massive news story coming out of the United States. Massive story. The Supreme Court earlier on this Friday ruled that President Donald Trump violated federal law when he unilaterally imposed the sweeping tariffs across the globe. A striking loss, CNN says, for the White House on an issue that has been central to the president's foreign policy and economic agenda. Massive story. The tariffs that President Trump has been using. The Supreme Court has ruled that they are illegal. They violated federal law. And it's the biggest setback to this Trump White House second time around. That story will develop further and we'll have much more on this, but this is the breaking news coming out of the United States. Anyway, Nora, if you leave the JHT people alone now. She says I've said enough, so all right, Nora. The producer is in charge of the program when it's on air now. So it doesn't matter what position you hold. If producer say, you have to obey. So the producer said, leave that alone now, Georgie. So I have to obey. All right. So now, a few months ago, it's not 3 months, Nora. October to November, November to December, December to January, January to... It's 4 months now. 4 months ago, Hurricane Melissa tore across Jamaica's western coastline, mashing up everything. The cost of rebuilding critical infrastructure, restoring utilities, repairing classrooms, and supporting displaced families, that bill continues to rise. Siobhan Campbell looked for us at the financial fallout from Hurricane Melissa. Listen to this from Siobhan Campbell.
3 months after Hurricane Melissa made landfall, the scale of the disaster and the cost of recovery is now clearer. Preliminary impact and loss assessments conducted by the government showed that Hurricane Melissa caused over 1 trillion Jamaican dollars in damage across housing, infrastructure, agriculture, tourism, and small businesses.
Madam Speaker, detailed assessments are still underway, but I wish to share very preliminary, high-level estimates only to illustrate the scale of the devastation. Based on benchmarks from comparable regional disasters, physical damage to housing, commercial buildings, roads, electricity, water, and telecommunications infrastructure is estimated between 6 to 7 billion US dollars, equivalent to roughly 28 to 32% of last year's GDP, last fiscal year's GDP. It is, members, a major hit to our economy.
Prime Minister's announcement, further assessments placed the total cost at nearly 9 billion US dollars. Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and St. Elizabeth were among the hardest hit parishes, with thousands of homes and businesses damaged or destroyed and critical infrastructure compromised. In the immediate aftermath, the government activated emergency financing to provide relief backed by assistance from several international partners, including CARICOM and the United States. However, the fiscal response to the hurricane was set in motion well before the Category 5 system hit. With an understanding of Jamaica's vulnerabilities to natural disasters, successive administrations put in place contingencies in the form of various funds and insurance schemes to absorb potential losses. The total payout from the various schemes, such as the World Bank-backed Catastrophe Bond and the Caribbean Community Resilience Fund, CCRF, would come to 620 million US dollars.
So our questions, first question was to outline the main sources and amounts of funds available to the ministry to provide relief and recovery assistance in the event of national disasters, and how long will it take for those funds to be dispersed. We did provide a response with a table, so I will just indicate what is here is what would have been in place on October 28 in terms of our disaster risk financing. It was sent late, but it's here. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll run through.
Could we circulate it by email just to continue? We'll just circulate it to members by email so we can catch up.
Yeah, she has it.
No.
Okay. So at October 28, what we had in place in terms of disaster risk financing policy would have been the contingencies fund with $5.3 billion, the National Natural Disaster Reserve Fund with $1 billion. We had policies with the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility for tropical cyclone. The amount would have insured is a $14.8 billion. I'm giving the Jamaica dollar equivalence. It's $14.8 billion. Excess rainfall, $6 billion. Earthquake, $17.6 billion. For the IDB Credit Contingent Facility, $46.2 billion. The World Bank Catastrophe Bond, $24.3 billion. And for the World Bank CAT DDO, $6.8 billion. So those figures give you a total of $122 billion Jamaican dollars. That is what is in place in terms of what would
immediately available.
What
cash
would be available given the Hurricane Melissa disaster.
This, though, was a drop in the bucket of what Jamaica would truly need in the coming years to recover from the unprecedented disaster. So where would that funding come from? That was the question on the lips of many in the days and weeks immediately following the passage of the hurricane. It was answered in a major announcement from the International Monetary Fund in concert with other leading multilaterals on December 1. In negotiations with the government, a $6.7 billion US package would be mobilized to assist the island. Never before had a country of Jamaica's size secured such an agreement.
Madam Speaker, the US $6.7 billion financing announced yesterday has three main components. US $3.6 billion in sovereign debt financing. This is for the government to execute the National Recovery and Reconstruction Program over the next 3 years and includes up to $1 billion each from the World Bank, IDB, and CAF. US $415 million from the IMF under the large natural disaster window of the RFI, and US $200 million from the CDB, the Caribbean Development Bank. The second category of funding, second component of funding, would be US $2.4 billion in private capital mobilization. IDB Invest, the International Finance Corporation, and the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency will mobilize private investment through public-private partnership models. Madam Speaker, it is important to note that mobilizing private capital will be critical not only to scale up recovery efforts, but also to preserve fiscal space. It is not intended for the sovereign debt pool. This is not intended, Madam Speaker, for the sovereign debt pool, and the private financing pool will operate independent of each other.
Some of these funds are earmarked not just for rebuilding, but for climate resilience upgrades. This includes stronger road surfaces, improved drainage, reinforced public buildings, and better coastal and flood protection in vulnerable communities. As of the third supplementary estimates tabled in December, the government has approved an additional $30 billion in disaster relief financing on top of what was set aside for the budget this fiscal year. Jamaica's debt was also set to fall below the critical threshold of 60% of GDP this fiscal year, a monumental achievement coming from the dizzying heights of 140%. However, Hurricane Melissa has derailed that expectation. The debt is now set to climb to 68% of GDP due to a suspension of the country's fiscal rules. The hurricane will cost the country an estimated 5% of GDP annually over the next 3 years. In order to build back from the disaster, the government has also put forward plans to spend roughly $50 billion in additional capital expenditure each financial year for the next 3 years. It's clear that Jamaica will be dealing with the fallout of Hurricane Melissa for some time. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Siobhan. So, we're up on another break. I know Nora said I must leave it alone, but Nora, just indulge me just 1 second. Please, I beg you. I have to read a message I've received from a JHTA member that says, not going to call the name obviously, but the person says, as a member of the JHTA and someone in the tourism industry, let me say you are absolutely correct. Enough said. Break time. Back with more after these.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is
10:46.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 noon with a repeat at 6:30 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Make we keep Jamaica clean. Me as if we keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica clean. Our duty to keep our island clean. Mobile to Kingston, sidewalk and beach. Bag it, bin it, recycle it, please. Proper garbage disposal, make we do it. Keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel. Sign up for your postpaid plan now, win $1 million. When you sign up and unlock postpaid with Digicel, you can win up to $1 million and more. Just sign up or switch to postpaid, upgrade or activate an add-on in the My Digicel app. Pay your bill in full on time and you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max every week. A bill write-off up to $10 grand, a grand prize of $1 million. Unlock winnings with Digicel. Better connected.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose.
Back with us on Cliff Hughes Online, coming to you from the White House Community Center in Westmoreland. Eastern Westmoreland is where we're at. Where, even 4 months up, Melissa's impact, her imprint is fresh. Yeah, Dr. Dayton Campbell and the other political leaders down here doing their best to assist residents, and the state playing its role in helping lives get back to normal. It is going to be a long process. I like to think of processes like I like to tell people that recovery from a disaster is a peristaltic process. Yeah, you know your integrated science lessons from high school. Yeah, no, remember peristalsis? You don't remember peristalsis when them teach Emerald Grove? Come on, man. What? Nora's a periswap. Nora, you can't let me down. A good school you're going to. Sure. Yeah, it is going to take a long time. Yeah, and that's a fact. I have with me now my first interview for the morning. The Community Relations Manager at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, the lady Shannon Williams. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice. So tell me now, the NSWMA, what have you been busying yourself with in this part of the country post Melissa? Is the best way to start.
All right. So post Melissa, we would have formed a National Debris Management Committee. And so we've been working in the Black River White House area to clear the area of debris. Mm-hmm. So we have, in fact, we were given 10 brand new tipper trucks to assist with clearing the debris. And so they've been busy in this space, coupled with supplementary units as private contractors, cleaning up the spaces as much as possible to return these communities to normal.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of debris, what is it that you've encountered your teams as they look to move the hurricane-related debris from these communities?
So what we have been encountering is a lot of roofing material. There are a crazy amount of zinc sheeting. We also see bulky waste, as some people would have been flooded out during the hurricane. And of course, fallen tree branches. There are a lot of them. So those are what really comprise most of the hurricane debris.
Yeah, and at the same time as you're lifting the hurricane debris and moving them to where they ought to go, the household waste still is a challenge to deal with.
Yes, so we're still out there doing the household collection on a weekly basis. That has been normalized since we have separated the operation of cleaning the household waste from the hurricane debris. So we have two teams, one focusing on your household collection and another focusing on clearing the debris from the spaces.
And I noticed you said before, or just now, that you were given 10 tipper trucks for the mission.
Yes.
Are all 10 being used for the hurricane debris, or split them between hurricane and household?
They are solely for the collection of the debris. That is it. So we would have had tipper trucks in the system long before.
Yes.
Right? And then guess what? We don't really use tipper trucks for the household debris. And that is why we encourage persons not to mix your household waste with the hurricane debris, because different units clean those kind of waste. So your household waste, we use the compactor trucks that can squeeze and crush and, but for the bigger, like the tree limbs and so on, we have to use the tipper trucks.
Yes. And in terms of the volume of the waste that you've encountered, I anticipate that Audley Gordon and company would have done an assessment to say, okay, gentle people, how much waste are we going to move where hurricane debris is concerned? And we're going to take these number of days to clear X percentage. Give me an idea of how much and how much you've removed so far and the timeline for completion.
All right, so we don't have a timeline for completion because sometimes, you know, in different spaces you have different volume of waste. So take, for instance, when we were in Catrinal West Green,
Yes.
the more we clean is the more the waste
That's
came out.
that's in Montego Bay, St.
Bay.
James, yes.
So the more we clean, the more the waste came out. I mean, people were overseas, some weren't there. And so we encourage persons to put out the debris at the curb to make the operation more efficient. But just the Catrinal West Green space, we removed approximately 3,000 tipper truckloads of
3,000
waste for just that one space.
Yes.
So it all depends on the space and how badly it was affected, right? So that's what has been happening.
In terms of those enclosures, well, I have to do better than that. It's not an enclosure. Those places and spaces that you take the debris to, are those full to capacity? Because I'm assuming, Shannon, that some of these places have never seen the volume of debris that you are taking there. Are those places holding up? Have you been having to use new spaces to accommodate the waste that you've been transporting there?
So immediately after the hurricane, we used temporary holding areas. So in Black River, we had the Independence Park and so on. Those areas have been returned to normal. We clear up all of that and we're back at our regular disposal sites.
Yes.
But what has been happening though is instead of bringing everything to the disposal site, we're doing different things. So for the tree cuttings, we do the shredding.
Yes.
So we put that back into a recycling process. For the bulky waste, you have people who need that kind of material, and so they've engaged us to take those off from us. So no space is full to capacity at this time.
Yeah, and then the point of recycling was coming there to say, under normal circumstances, the NSWA runs a recycling operation. You don't?
No, we don't, but we partner with those who do. So if it is, as it relates to, say, for instance, plastic bottles,
Yes.
so we'll partner with recycling partners and other companies to take those off.
Has that been affected in this period when you've been busy doing more important stuff?
Not quite. It just depends on the particular space. So, for instance, St. Elizabeth, yes, some of the cages would have been washed away. So now it's pretty much rebuilding and getting persons to recommit to continue the separation initiative.
Yes, and in terms of the personnel involved, we tend to think about machines. We've spoken about tipper trucks several times, and not the personnel.
Yeah.
How many people do you have working with the NSWMA crews doing the household waste removal and, of course, the Melissa debris removal?
Wow. All right. I cannot give you a specific number. However, you see, for the debris removal, we try to engage persons from the community.
Yes.
So we don't just use NSWMA staff. So yes, we have contractors. Yes, we have our staff and also community members coming out to be a part of the process. So they too are employed under the hurricane debris removal space.
Yeah. The issue of debris removal was given primacy, Sharon, and when the Prime Minister spoke in the Parliament very soon after Minister, it may have been the first time that he spoke post the disaster, he mentioned at the top that, listen, a lot of people when they're thinking of the recovery are not thinking of debris removal, but he said it is perhaps the most important thing at this point of the recovery effort. And I just want to hear you on how important the work the NSWMA has done so far has allowed other things to now get in train as communities ready themselves to build back better.
All right, so based on the work that we have done, so we have been using our Parks and Garden Division to assist in clearing the roadway. So we'll come in with our chainsaws and we will cut the fallen tree branches. So we clear the main road to ensure that persons have access, and of course heavy duty equipment, utility companies, ambulances and so on have access to communities and to people. So other than that, we continue with the removal, of course, of the debris so that the drains aren't blocked. And then in the event of rain, then we have flooding and, you know, blockages and so on. So we continue, and I mean, we say recovery starts with cleanup, and we just want persons to cooperate with us. Just put out your debris outside, so when we come in to clean, the process is efficient. So don't let the truck leave and you still have your waste there.
Excellent. Thank you this morning for your time, and all the best to you and the team. We know it's a lot of back-breaking work, but we know you're up to it.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Community Relations Manager at the NSWMA, Shannon Williams. There we take another break, Nora, and we come right back. Residents of White House and surrounding areas can come. Yeah, you can come on. If you're listening to us, you can come on down to the White House Community Center with buckets to get water, because there's an NWC truck here. There's an NWC truck here. So if you don't have the commodity, come down with a bucket and you peel. Yeah, come and you can fill up. Yeah? So again, if you're listening to us and you're in the White House area, or if you're near enough to White House, if you can get a drive, come here with your bucket and your pail. Them can carry 55 gallon drum. If you can put it at the back of your pickup or the back of your vehicle, you can come. Come with whatever you have that can collect water. And there's a water truck here. You can get some of the stuff so you can cook and bathe a little bit more comfortable this weekend. All right? Again, residents of White House and surrounding areas, bring your bucket and your pail or your little drum or your car boy, whatever container you have that can catch water. There's a NWC water truck here. Come. And you can just turn on and set the pail and get some water and leave. You don't have to pay anything, all right? Just come, all right? Break time, back at more after this.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
Keeping our communities clean starts at home, but it's not a one-man job. It's a partnership. Tie your garbage bags properly, separate leaf and tree cuttings from regular waste, don't mix bulky waste with household garbage. Small actions make a big difference. When you do your part, collection is smoother, our workers are safer, and your community stays cleaner. NSWMA is here for you. Let's work together, because Jamaica's beauty is our duty.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
For all your tax filing and financial statement needs, call or WhatsApp KCP Accounting 876-830-6388 or email info@kcpaccounting.com. KCP Accounting, services you can count on.
Driving me crazy. Who do I call?
Have no fear. Alsan Pest Control is here. We are the pest control experts specializing in eliminating and controlling pests, both residential and commercial. We are dependable and affordable. For more information, call us at 338-6056. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
No more pest. Thank you, Alsan.
Ready to plan your dream getaway? Do it with D&M Vacation Travel Adventures. We have the best rates on top hotels, hassle-free transportation, and easy-to-book flights. Call or WhatsApp 876-215-9746 or visit our Instagram at DM_vacation to start planning your adventure today. Choose unforgettable experiences. Choose D&M Vacation Travel Adventures.
That was Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM. Listings start as low as $1,500. Call 876-630-1210 to book yours today.
Super healthy, super happy. SuperMed located in Kingston, St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. The time by SuperMed family of pharmacies and Hughes Dent Pharmacy is
11:01.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal.
News Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock.
Back with us on Cliff Hughes Online here on Nationwide 90 FM. And we continue to do our interviews. Again, very important notice, you know. If you're in the White House area, yeah, and you can get a drive, come now, bring your pail and your bucket, and you can get some water from NWC. There's a truck here, you can fill up your receptacles, so come and get some water. There are a lot of people here already, lining up orderly. Son of pelt, we don't know where. Son of pelt, man. Well, we can't laugh because we're under some shade, but mercy. Son of pelt. And they're orderly as they collect their packages, and they are going through they're going through various stages of, some of them going through stages of grief, you know, because it can't easy if you lose your home. I can't imagine going back to my yard after a disaster and it mash up, or being in my house while the hurricane and mash it up. It's unimaginable. And so the relief and the outreach, it can't done. It's not a 1 year, 2 year thing. Last Christmas a lot of people gave and we thank them for giving. People are going to want things Easter, people are going to want things back to school, people are going to want things Christmas will come later this year. And you must try to give it, doesn't matter what. If I even want $50, you roll it up and you put it in somebody's hand, it can stop a gap. Yeah? Anyway, my producer says, all right, George, you need to go to the phones. And this producer is she who must be obeyed. So, my next interviewee is Senior Director in charge of Surveys and Mapping at National Land Agency, Wayneworth Hamilton. The NLA's hydrography unit, I'll work with that, played a critical role in conducting hydrographic surveys to provide crucial marine data to support relief, assessment, and recovery efforts. As I noted, Wayneworth Hamilton is Senior Director in charge of Surveys and Mapping Division at NLA, and he's here to talk about how the agency's hydrography unit supported post-hurricane recovery efforts. Wayneworth Hamilton, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nationwide team, and thank you for having me, and pleasant morning to your audience.
Excellent, sir. Thank you for making the time to speak with us. For the benefit of my listeners and myself, do explain the term hydrography.
So hydrography is essentially a branch of surveying which is concerned with the measuring and mapping of the physical features of oceans, seas, coastal areas, rivers, lakes, with a focus on really collecting data about the water depths, which the term for that is bathymetry, seafloor structures, tides, currents, etc. And this data really is necessary to support safe navigation of waterways, marine construction, infrastructure development, mineral exploration. We are into the business of searching for that can be found in our water, environmental management, and to a great extent it enhances national security.
Yes. So tell me then, with that as the things involved in the study of hydrography, what did your unit busy itself with in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Melissa?
We considered ourselves not necessarily an emergency responder, but an enabler of emergency response mechanism. So we were able to, immediately after the event, map the environments of the Ocho Falmouth, Montego Bay port facilities and areas, and we were able to prepare the relevant charts to support seafaring, because as you would have understood that we had help from all over the world, and 80 to 90% of movement of cargo and goods is by the sea. globally.
Yes.
So
yes,
we were able now to provide accurate information on those areas which would have cleared or delineated paths for vessels to enter to immediately provide aid.
That which is beneath the sea, Wainworth Hamilton, of course, we can't see, but hurricanes often change that which is beneath the sea, which we can't see. What kind of changes does your data show happened by virtue of Melissa striking with the ferocity that she did?
One of the first things that would have been evident from our data set is sedimentation, which is derived from the storm surge, because you would have understood that movement of sediments is a natural process along the seafloor. But when you have such an event, the mass movement now of sedimentation, what would have taken years to move and accumulate is happening over one event. So, and that mass movement and deposit of sediments and debris would have affected depths. And you know, where depths are affected, vessels, the movement of vessels now, we have that to think about. Another thing of note is the ecological changes, where you would have had damages to coral reefs and oyster bays, which those things now will take years or decades even to recover. And then just the element of pollution, where you have debris from land entering the seaward direction. So that type of debris, then you would have the movement of wreckage along the seafloor. So all those things would have required us to locate where those are accurately, so as to provide a safer space for the marine stakeholders to traverse.
Yes. I would imagine, Wainworth, that you would have worked closely with the Port Authority of Jamaica. And if I am correct, what it is that you collaborated with them to do post this disaster?
Right, so the Port Authority of Jamaica and the NLA are members of the Hydrographic Committee of Jamaica. So we are naturally collaborating in and out of events, and we ensure that the accurate data is provided to Port Authority to ensure safe navigation. We enhance their services, so we provide data, so they are able to ensure safe navigation of our territorial waters, efficient port operations, and the whole management and development of infrastructure. In this particular case, the rehabilitation of our coastal infrastructure. And generally, our data set is required by the Port Authority to just enhance their functions as the stewards of Jamaica's port facilities. So the clearance, they will be able now with this data set to issue clearance to enter our facilities. We will provide hazard identification in our mapping. And generally, our data sets will provide some kind of coastal element which helps to monitor and map stuff like beach erosion or sea level changes.
Yes. What is that one thing, Wainworth Hamilton, that you want Jamaicans to take away about the importance of hydrography and its importance to climate resilience and building out climate resilience?
Hydrography supports the provision of essential data required to monitor sea levels, and you will understand that a lot of our sensitive and important facilities in the country, our airports, etc., are along coastal areas. So if we can monitor sea level rise, it puts us in a better position to monitor these critical elements of infrastructure. And a lot of the population of our nation resides along the coast. And then our blue economy sustainable objectives are really well supported to manage the resources, such as our fishing stock or coastal ecosystem, which is, for example, mangroves, which this element is nature's way of protecting us from storm surge. So these things are some of the things that hydrography really supports in terms of building our climate resilience ambitions.
Excellent. And if any student out there wants some more information, or even members of the public, Wayneworth, what should they do when they call the NLA?
Well, you can reach us at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Our head office is at 8 Arden Road, and surveys and mapping is at 23.5 Charles Street, Kingston. And otherwise, we are online at www.nla.gov.jm. So we are, the technocrats stand ready on any of these portals to answer your questions, to provide technical assistance and good customer service.
Like we had the customer service part in, because that's so very important. Thank you very much, Wayneworth Hamilton. All the best to you this morning and the rest of your team at the surveys and mapping unit at the National Land Agency. All the best, man.
Have a great day.
Great. Senior Director Surveys and Mapping at the NLA, Wayneworth Hamilton. Break time, back with more after these.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
And need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal.
We love showing you the fun side of Jamaica. New places, good food, real vibes, and pure adventure. If you enjoy exploring with us, come closer. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Let's go! Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this happy we island. So keep Jamaica, say make we do it, keep Jamaica clean. Beg you listen to me please, no plastic bag, no fear blowing at the breeze. No. Proper garbage, disposal, recycle plastic, now make it full up in the streets. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this happy we island. So keep Jamaica, say make we do it. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Back with us on Cliff Hughes Online, coming to you from the White House Community Center in White House in Westmoreland. The crowd is gathering near the area where they are giving away some 5-gallon buckets to collect water. Hold on. No, are those empty buckets or are those buckets with water? Some of them are empty and some have water already, right? So some people are making hay while the sun shines, and there's a lot of sun here. So they're collecting buckets, 5-gallon buckets with water. Others are empty, but they'll be filled by the NWC truck there. And so if you're in the White House area, please come on down with your receptacle, and they will be happy to fill it for you for no charge. Yeah? That's what the spirit of the day is, giving assistance to those who are in need following Hurricane Melissa. And as I've noted, this is going to be a long process. The needs will be plenty and will extend over a long period. And so it is needful that those of us who are in a position to offer some assistance see the need to match the need for supplies and resources to make sure that our benevolence matches that need. Speaking of matching needs, We Change Jamaica is one of those entities involved in the business of helping Jamaicans at this time. and their digital media officer is Khalifa Facey, and she sits with me this morning. Good morning, Khalifa.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Great, great.
You're hot, not true?
Very, very. The sun is out.
Yeah, man, the sun is out. I tell you, yeah, you're ebony. So, you know.
I'll survive.
You'll survive, and there you go. Good. All right. We Change Jamaica. Before we even get to Project Relief, what is We Change Jamaica?
Okay, so We Change Jamaica is a women's rights organization, and we're particularly interested in advancing, the livelihood of women in Jamaica and the Caribbean at an expansion, but particularly Jamaica. So we focus on ensuring that the experience that women have here, they have access to all the resources that they need. We, review policies to ensure that it's in our best interest and so forth. So we're really focused on improving social justice movements for women.
And for how long have you existed?
Since 2015.
So, you're 11 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have age, man. You don't just come.
No,
you don't just come
not
at
new
that.
to this. True to this.
Yes, and with the change in the direction of the wind, listeners, from where we sit, as I said, we are about 200 meters from the beach, where the Caribbean Sea, the foreshore, yeah? And the change of direction of the breeze is bringing the fresh fish smell to where our broadcast point is. Not fresh fish as in fish cooking, but just fish and the beach. And it is rather pleasant, I must say. And the seabirds in the foreground as well, looking for any morsels that they can catch as they prepare to have their lunch. Project Relief now, and We Change Jamaica. What is Project Relief?
Okay, so Project Relief is a project by We Change Jamaica, and it stands for Rapid Emergency Lifeline for inclusive and equitable futures. So Project Relief is geared towards helping women, on the cusp of Hurricane Melissa to rebuild. So we're very focused on providing wash assistance, and what that stands for is water and sanitation assistance. So ensuring that women have access to clean and healthy water, ensuring that they have access to financial support so that they can rebuild. So we're giving away cash grants and stuff like that. So we're just basically focused on helping women, particularly women who are vulnerable. So women who don't have access or ready access to social services, rural women, women who are vulnerable in terms of having heightened economic insecurity and so forth.
Yeah, Khalifa, it's funny you say that, because I remember very early in the outreach effort post Hurricane Melissa, people were saying that, look, we welcome donations of food and water especially, but don't forget that there are many women out there who don't have sanitary napkins, underwear, and we need that. So there's a gap where We Change Jamaica through Project Relief to fill.
Definitely. Women, a lot of the times when disasters such as this happen, we're focused on, getting them food, which is very, very much important, but we have to understand the gendered needs. So women in particular, we have periods and so forth. So we need stuff like that to ensure that we can focus on rebuilding efforts. So that's very important.
Was it the Jamaican experience alone, since you were founded in 2015, that prompted you to direct We Change Jamaica in this direction? In other words, what I'm driving at is this: the gap that you are filling, the specific gap, which is very important. Is it just from the Jamaican experience where disaster and post-disaster is concerned that you designed this approach, or did you look elsewhere and saw those gaps and say, in Jamaica, if this happens, this is where we're going to be of service, because in these countries, this wasn't available to women?
Well, it's particularly designed with Jamaican women in mind, because when you think of the experience of the Jamaican women versus the experience of the Trinidadian women, it's quite different despite being the same. So we're focused really on the Jamaican woman experience. So we try to find the gaps where we can fill in terms of helping women to have, a better experience, and we focus on that. Of course, problems are universal, gendered problems are universal. So the need for sanitary napkins and so forth after a disaster is not indigenous to Jamaica. It's quite universal, but it's something that we definitely experienced here.
What have those who've benefited from your outreach said to you about what you provided to them?
Pardon me?
What have those who've benefited from your outreach, your benevolence, the items that you've given, what have they been saying to you in saying thanks for what you've given to them?
So we are currently in the process of disseminating the packages. So we're not too far along in terms of dissemination. As a matter of fact, we have a tent right over there.
Yes.
So we're currently taking sign-ups. A bulk of our packages are still in Kingston, but we do have a few here. So we're telling people to come to the tent and sign up, and we will contact you and ensure that you get your packages and so forth. So we're not that far along the process, but I anticipate that it will be well received.
And lastly, what do you want to say to Jamaicans who, in the immediate aftermath of a disaster, they think about so many things and giving people food and perhaps putting some money in somebody's hand, but they don't necessarily think about some of the more intimate needs that vulnerable people like women have? How do you want them to change their thinking to accommodate for these people?
Okay, so I want to firstly say thank you to everyone that has come on board in ensuring that our fellow Jamaicans have food and these necessary items, because it is necessary. However, in terms of filling the gap, I would say try to make it as personal as possible. Think of your sister and think of your mother, and think of what your sister or your mother would need, and if you're a woman, what you would need in particular after a disaster. Yes, you need food and so forth, but everything is destroyed. You need underwear, you need sanitary napkins, you need soap, you need access to special services and so forth. So make it as personal as possible and lead with your heart, and then you'll find that you're able to fill these gaps a bit more effectively.
Yeah, think of feminine hygiene products alongside everything else equally.
Yes, but let me just note that we're not just focusing on feminine hygiene products. We do have cash grants in order to help women and to help women in their rebuilding efforts, because your building is destroyed, your shelter, that's one of the number one basic needs that we have, because if you don't have shelter, then you don't have a place to lay your head. It's quite counterintuitive. So we are also focusing on that. So you can come over to the tent and sign up and get cash grants and also gift cards from HL Rapid True Value. And you can redeem or use a gift card at any location island-wide, any HL Rapid True Value location island-wide.
Impressive stuff. Thank you this morning for your time. Khalifa Facey, she is We Change Jamaica's digital media officer, and she has spoken about the work of her organization. The tent, there's a long line in front of the tent. People are signing up, and she says alongside the products that they have on offer, the packages, there are also the possibilities that you can get. You can qualify for a cash grant, and of course there are vouchers that you can redeem at places such as H&L True Value for hardware items that you may need to rebuild your home, or the little shop, your area of hustling that you may have. Nora says no break. I must go straight across to the regional director thank you, Khalifa, to the Ministry of Education, Region 4, Dr. Michelle Pinnock. Dr. Pinnock, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, listeners. How are you?
Me good, man. How are you doing?
I am good. That is good.
Excellent. First question to ask, how many schools in Region 4 were impacted by Miss Melissa?
Well, we have 99%. We have a total of 164 schools, and we have 2 schools that were not severely nor partially damaged.
And for all those damaged, everybody has resumed face-to-face classes?
Everybody has resumed face-to-face classes. We have resumed using many different modalities, meaning we have schools that have returned on rotation. What that means is that grades will come on particular days per week, and the days that they're out, we provide the students with photocopied materials or so. And then we have those that are having full resumption, but then we have full resumption with reduced hours. And then we have those that are on shift. So reduced hours, probably because there is not electricity in the area. So we leave a little early so that all students and teachers can get home before dark. The rotation, we make sure that all our grade 6 students come to school 5 days per week. and we send home materials for the students to use outside of the days when they're not face-to-face.
In terms of running water and electricity, Dr. Pinnock, what percentage of your schools have those two things? And yeah, because of course, if you tell us that, we'll know how many don't.
Okay, all right. Well, running water, what happens is that even without Melissa, there are some schools that use water harvesting. So I will say that all of our schools do have water. Water is available in all our schools. We do have about 80% of our schools, 85% of our schools that are with JPS electricity. We do have a few schools that are without electricity. So, Murnsville in the area where you are, Culloden and those schools, the Carmel, some other schools don't have electricity. But what we're doing is doing the workaround. We do have generators in a few of those schools. And yesterday, we had a resource hub being sponsored by Flow in the Maud McLeod area. And what that hub will do is that the school will be able to get services from that location, services such as photocopying and other services that would require electricity. So we are just trying to find alternatives as we work with JPS to get our schools back on the grid.
Yeah. In terms of the repair of infrastructure at these schools, Dr. Pinnock, give me an idea of some of the work that's continuing or ongoing at some of these facilities to get them back to where they were before, Melissa.
Okay, in terms of infrastructure, we will say that we have about 70% of our schools work has started or contracts are in hand. We have work such as roofing. We have work such as looking at flooring. We have work such as fencing, putting back the water harvesting structures, making sure canteens are up. Right. So basically that's the kind of work that we're doing at this point in time.
Yeah. In terms of the psychosocial support now, I mean, the adults are struggling in this time, let alone you can imagine the children. You know what has been done by the ministry to help bring the kids back to the children back to equilibrium.
All right. Well, even equilibrium is dynamic, right?
Yes.
In terms of the psychosocial, I want to say that we prioritized that from the beginning. And so we started with working with our guidance counselors themselves, making sure that they were ready to take on the task of supporting both our teachers and our students and their parents. We've had a number of partners come in and to help us with the psychosocial sessions. And we would have catered to our teachers and just made sure that they're able to take care of themselves, and also that they, even though they're not guidance counselors, they're able to support our students. Because there are some students who, they just want to speak. Let's say you're doing a particular topic and they just, are reminded of a particular situation. We want all our teachers to be aware of how to help them at this time. So we've been trying to do a lot of training for our teachers and also the non-academic staff as well, so that they're a little bit more aware. We have actually partnered with the Ministry of Health. They work closely with us, so we're able to do our referrals. And we do have clinical psychologists that are available. And, of course, we have done some referrals. And the Ministry of Education looks after the monies associated with these kinds of sessions. So in terms of the psychosocial, we are really monitoring and making sure that we're able to get our students back into, I'll use the word that you use, equilibrium. Okay,
Yes.
understanding that resilience is not necessarily pushing a situation under the carpet, but
Yes.
really trying to deal with what it is that we have and really looking at moving forward. So as a region, we are focused on the psychosocial, and we're here supporting our parents and students and of course our educators as we really try to bounce back better in Region 4.
You know, one of the things that troubles me is that, you know, in times of difficulties, Dr. Pinnock, the community rallies to the aid of the school. But in these circumstances where the community is flattened and everybody has been hard hit by what happened, the community needs the same help that the school would be looking to the community to provide. So I mean, all this, let me ask you about the managers of these school plants, the principals and the senior faculty who are helping them. Have you brought them together? Have you, outlined a way forward to say, gentle people, these are the things that we will do, these are the steps we will take to get back to where we were before? Have you had that kind of outreach yet with your group of principals in Region 4?
We continue to have that outreach, and we continue to have an open door policy because, of course, it's not easy supporting persons in these situations. Just yesterday, we were in the Darlington area where we had our principals together. We had sessions for principals and also speaking specifically about how it is that we can bounce back, how can we organize our school in such a way that we're able to manage all the things that we have with the limited resources, how it is that we're able to get our students still focused. I must say that the Jamaica has been very supportive to us in the West. We have had a number of groups that have come to our help, and individuals as well, people in the diaspora and of course corporate Jamaica, and persons continuously come to the communities. And what it is that I really do like is that we are really organized to really provide an interministerial support. And so we try to get all parties in conversation so we're able to support the school leaders as they try to support families.
Excellent. Thank you for your time this morning, Dr. Pinnock, and may the Lord bless you and your team as you continue this very, very important work here in Region 4.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do
Dr.
have a
Michelle Pinnock. Yeah, man. Thank you very much, Mom. Regional Director, Ministry of Education, Region 4, Dr. Michelle Pinnock, in that interview. I can tell you that the buckets, there were scores of buckets there. They're gone. The folks here have made use of the benevolence of the NWC to get those 5-gallon buckets to fill them, and with water. The truckman is now giving water to some more people. The Project Relief line is long as the women line up to sign up for the care packages and the grants. We have exhausted our supply of relief items. The police are here to maintain order. There has been no disorder from morning, thank God for that. And the people are just focused on getting whatever assistance they can get on this day as they look to get themselves back to that E word again, equilibrium. It's break time, Nora? Yes, she says it's break time. Back with more after these.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firm.
Planning an event? Elevate it with Krispy Kreme custom donuts to match your theme. The time by Krispy Kreme is
11:36.
Make we keep Jamaica clean. Me as if we keep Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica clean. Our duty to keep our island clean. Mobile to Kingston, sidewalk and beach. Bag it, bin it, recycle it, please. Proper garbage disposal, make we do it. Keep Jamaica Jamaica clean. Keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special. The Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others, will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, Bronze, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Silver, Nationwide VIP, breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
our gold category, elite listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to lifetime, impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is Nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90 FM, the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Back with us here on Nationwide 90 FM as we continue this outside broadcast from White House in Westmoreland, the White House Community Center, looking down at the White House Fishing Village from our vantage point. Nigel, how long would it take you to run from here to the beach? It would take about an hour, not true? A man like Kimberly Rowe, it would take him like 20 seconds. Michael Paul, be quiet. You can't run. You run at champs, Michael? Okay. You're too fast to run at champs. I see. Anyway, turning now to a gentleman who has a very important role to play in this parish of Westmoreland. He is Reverend Hartley Perrin, and he is the custos of Westmoreland. Rev, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, and welcome to our parish of Westmoreland.
Thank you very much, sir, for the warm welcome with an emphasis on the warm.
Indeed, if you had come last week, it would not have been so warm.
Boy, I tell you, boy, custos everywhere last week was cool.
But it would not have been so warm.
I hear you, sir. Thank you. So, 3 months after, well, more than 3 months, almost 4 months, custos after Melissa damaged this part of the island. From where you sit, what would you say has been the pace of the recovery?
The pace has been slow. But it's better to be slow than there's no pace at all.
Yes.
But we'd have much preferred if things had gotten off the ground faster and persons were beginning to receive the aid that they need so badly before now. The truth is that we initially were getting food, and that was good. We needed the food. Badly we needed the food. And we also received water. We needed that.
Yes.
And volunteers came with medical help, and that was also offered. But at this juncture, what is needed more than ever is material to build. Build wood and stone and cement and steel, those things. Because persons have been living with friends or living with family members, and they are feeling uncomfortable, And it's now time for them to move into their own space that they can regard as their own.
Yes.
But one of the concerns, is that there are some people who are helping themselves, but building back in the same place where they were flooded out badly before Melissa and during other rain events.
Yes.
So there should be something of an advisory that says, please, do not rebuild here. And if you say that too, build here instead.
Yes. Oh boy, that's always part of the challenge in the Rev, because to a man who has his home in an area, it gets destroyed and he builds it back the same place. But he'll say to you that, where am I supposed to go? It's not as if the authorities have given me an alternative, and he'll say, it's easy to say build somewhere else, but where's the somewhere else?
Exactly. Because where I live, I pass a little area, and that area, whenever it rains, we are flooded. They have to have a good rain event and they are flooded. And prior to Melissa, we had the parish council, the municipal corporation. They came with tractor and they digged a trench, and if that were not dug, then they would have all drowned. But anyway, that was done. But even with that, they are prone to severe flooding when it rains. And they lost their homes completely, submerged. But now the water has subsided. And I'm seeing signs that they want to build again on the same site. Because how can I say to them, don't build there, don't build there?
Yes.
And I can't say to them, build here instead.
Yes. In terms of the government agencies and, the national level and the local government, Reverend, and the local leaders in the community, assess for me their impact in this phase of the recovery effort. Is their impact being felt?
Not tremendously so. Especially in this parish of Westmoreland. I speak it openly and I speak it loudly, that we do not feel that we are getting our just desserts where Westmoreland is concerned. There may be focus on other parishes. I won't call any parish name, but I don't think that Westmoreland, and you are a location where Hurricane Melissa chose to come on the 28th of October.
Yes.
And if you look around, you will see her effects, even now.
Yes.
You would have seen some areas where rebuilding has taken place. But you would also see areas where the rubble is still there.
Yes.
And in such context, we would hope to see more than rubble. We would hope to see a clearing and substantial structures being erected. I thought by now, in the same way we were able to mobilize our friends from Canada and other places to come to put up our light pole, I
lost the Custos, Did I lose him? Compass? I think we lost the Custos, and he was making a very important point. Custos of Westmoreland, the gentleman, Reverend Hartley Perrin. Nora is going to try to get him back for me, but he says, not feeling the support of the government entities and the local leaders, says Westmoreland needs more from those people. The presence needs to be felt, not being felt. And he's saying that people have had no alternative but to build in the areas where their homes were flattened by Melissa, same place, because they've not been given an alternative. And the safest thing for someone to do if their house has been damaged in one spot is to build back in that spot, because you can't go and claim another spot. It's somebody else's spot, or you just move free will, go to somewhere else, and that's problematic. And these are the things that governments need to get right. These are the things that local authorities, and I'm a stickler for those with the responsibility in various areas to get to do their jobs. So local government must do its job, and then central government must do its job as well when the race reaches when the baton reaches their stage of the relay. Everybody must carry their leg of the relay, carry the baton on their leg. You can't ask someone to run 2 legs of a relay or 3. It's 1-1-1. You have to run your leg. And the Custos is saying that as far as the political leaders are concerned and at the government level, Westmoreland has not felt the presence that is in this phase of the recovery. Costas, are you back with us?
I am here. I'm very much here.
Yes.
Very much
right.
here.
Good.
The force and the weight. We're not experiencing it, and we need more of the force and weight. And as I said, we'd expect that in the same way we're able to get help from abroad, even with our Canadian friends coming to do the power lines. If we were able to get even some of our own people outside of the parish, mobilize builders and contractors, the JDF, to come with teams in areas to build houses. You know, one or two.
You'd be further along.
Yes, one or two persons have gotten homes, but they're from private entities who have brought in maybe a modular home, container home, and so on, which is good, and we appreciate that. But the vast majority of persons have not had anything yet.
Yes. Let me ask you about some vulnerable groups, elderly and the children, and then I'm going to ask you about the farmers, because what has been the situation with those children, especially children who were wards of the state staying at children's homes or other such facilities, the indigent, the shut-ins, and folks like those in this period? Has enough been done for them, done to them?
The home, there's a boys' home in our area, the Clifton Boys' Home.
Yes.
That was rebuilt after a fire a couple of years ago. Well, that building lost its roof. And consequently, the boys had to be transferred to as far away as St. Mary. And they are still there. Because the roof of the Clifton Boys' Home is still off. And the board is seeking whatever help they can get to put the roof back on with a view to bringing back the boys in the home. So
how many boys?
One example. Sorry.
About how many boys? Boys, Costas?
It ranges. Sometimes anywhere 20 up. It can go up as far as 40.
Yes.
So that is one home. I can't speak definitively about, for example, the infirmary and the situation. They have not heard anything negative or positive. I need to do some investigation about the infirmary and its connection post-Melissa. But
line is a challenge now. Moses, are you hearing us?
I'm hearing you.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. I'm hearing you now.
Yes, I'm saying even with the food distribution, it required a lot of effort to ensure that the greedy are not the ones who always receive, and the real needy, don't get access to whatever is being given out, because those that are shut in are not able to come out to the areas where the distribution may be taking place. So there has to be some mechanism where the elderly persons are identified, and there's some way of bringing things to them, rather than hoping that they can come to where it is being distributed. I don't know how it will work, but if we get persons who are asked to mobilize, they are the JPs, they are the cadets, they are the scouts, they are volunteers. If they are convinced that they are called or summoned to do the work as is needed.
What about the farmers? Costas? What are the farmers saying in terms of the assistance being given to them by the relevant agencies?
Some assistance is being more spoken about than given in these parts. I myself am a farmer. I lost a number of animals. I haven't seen anybody yet to date, and I made it known to say, well, what the situation is. Maybe they are not ready for cattle farming, but I don't know about the other aspect of agriculture, meaning the crops. Persons have been planting, and they have been like pumpkin and carrots and all those short-term crops are coming back. And people are aggressively working towards bringing back their cultivation. But, for example, the small chicken farmers who constitute a large amount of the protein which we eat, they may be able to get the chicks, although at the moment the chicks are just coming back. But in terms of building back a coop, it's not easy because they don't have the resources.
Yes.
So help has to be given in that direction to legitimate farmers who have lost chicken coops as a result of the passage of the hurricane. So it's going to take some time. We have to admit that it is good. What I'm saying is that let persons know that it is only a matter of more. As it stands now, persons don't really know if time is going to help because nothing has happened so far in 4 months.
Yes. All right. So as we end, Costas, you're presenting a picture of more being needed in several areas. The pace, you say, is slow, but you do make the very important point that it's not been so long ago since Melissa struck, and you are not being unreasonable in the assistance you expect to come, but at least you would like to see a stronger presence and more help from the presence of those elected and empowered leaders, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the final thing is if you look around at the trees, you see how they are reflecting the resilience. The tapestry, the plants.
Yes.
The line has gone bad.
All right. The line is going, so I think you got in all of that. Costas, thank you for your time this morning, man, and all the best to you.
All the best to you too. Bye-bye.
Good. Costas of Westmoreland, the Reverend Hartley Perrin will take, well, it's 11:53. I think we should break for the news now, yeah? So, Kevin, you can take it away and do the necessary business. White House Community Center for this nationwide outside broadcast, where we brought some items to our friends here in Westmoreland. And there are other entities here providing some relief. Samaritan's Purse is the clinic that's up here and running. It's not because we're here while they're here. This is where they are. This is where they are based. The NWC are doing some good work as well, giving away some water, project relief from the We Change Jamaica entity. They are here as well. And a lot of people are coming. In the last 10 minutes, a few people have driven their vehicles in, popped their trunk, and a lot of bottles to fill with water. And a lot is happening here at White House Community Center. Back with more after the news, sports at about 12:30 thereabouts? Yes.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Furnitureland at 112 Constant Spring Road is Jamaica's premier furniture retailer when searching for stylish and elegant pieces for your home. The time by Furnitureland is
11:54.
Singers, songwriters, producers, this is your chance to write your name into Jamaica's rich music history and also win $3 million cash in the JCDC Festival Song Competition. And it's now so easy to enter because, well, we gone digital. It's all online. Just log on to jcdc.gov.jm, fill in the form online and upload your entry. Closing date March 31. Enter now.
I didn't hear you leave. I wonder how am I still here?
This show is your escape, your vibe, your reset.
But I will go down with this shit.
If Urban Paradise ever brings you peace, joy, or a little relief,
surrender.
Come closer.
What you won't do.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You tried everything, but you don't give up.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
For all your tax filing and financial statement needs, call or WhatsApp KCP Accounting 876-830-6388 or email info@kcpaccounting.com. KCP Accounting, services you can count on.
Driving me crazy? Who do I call?
Have no fear. Alsan Pest Control is here. We are the pest control experts specializing in eliminating and controlling pests, both residential and commercial. We are dependable and affordable. For more information, call us at 338-6056. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
No more pest. Thank you, Alsan.
Ready to plan your dream getaway? Do it with D&M Vacation Travel Adventures. We have the best rates on top hotels, hassle-free transportation, and easy-to-book flights. Call or WhatsApp 876-215-9746 or visit our Instagram at DM_vacation to start planning your adventure today. Choose unforgettable experiences. Choose D&M Vacation Travel Adventures. Call J&J Electrical for all your washing machine, refrigerator, air conditioner, stove, and television repairs. J&J Electrical, 876-403-7302. That's 876-403-7302.
That was Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM. Listings start as low as $1,500. Call 876-630-1210 to book yours today.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal.
Keeping our communities clean starts at home, but it's not a one-man job. It's a partnership. Tie your garbage bags properly, separate leaf and tree cuttings from regular waste, don't mix bulky waste with household garbage. Small actions make a big difference. When you do your part, collection is smoother, our workers are safer, and your community stays cleaner. NSWMA is here for you. Let's work together, because Jamaica's beauty is our duty.
So some of you have been listening longer than I've been talking on radio, so this is our way of keeping it strong together. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon and stay with us.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
12 o'clock.
The News at Noon teasers are brought to you by AnyBet, your best bet, and Ramen House JA. Cook it your way.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
A very good afternoon to you. I'm Tawna Thomas, coming up in the Nationwide World at Noon for this afternoon, Friday, February 20, 2026. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness finalizing changes to Cabinet. JHTA rejects proposed increase in GCT on tourism activities. Opening of the Belfield Health Centre in St. Mary, marred by political tensions.
I want to say to you, enjoy your clinic. Enjoy your clinic. This is government taxpayers' money at work.
JPS confident it can meet February 28 deadline for island-wide restoration of electricity. In regional news, ExxonMobil urges Guyana to ease bureaucracy to further develop gas sector. In international news, Trump's sweeping global tariffs struck down by U.S. Supreme Court. And in sports, CEO of Cricket West Indies, Chris Derring, says West Indies' T20 World Cup success so far is no surprise after heavy investment. The details after the break.
The News at Noon teasers were brought to you by Anybet, your best bet, and Ramen House JA. Cook it your way. The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Nationwide News understands that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is planning and finalizing changes to his cabinet. Our news center understands that the changes will likely involve at least 2 ministries. This is a developing story, and we'll have more details in subsequent newscasts. Now, the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA, is rejecting the government's proposed increase in the General Consumption Tax, GCT, on tourism activities. The association's president issued a strongly worded statement on Friday. The statement says the position to reject the proposal reflects the full consensus among its membership chapters and tourism stakeholders. Mahira Stewart reports.
Minister of Finance and the Public Service Favour Williams announced the tax measure during the tabling of the estimates of expenditure on February 12.
The next revenue measure will increase the general consumption tax GCT rate on tourism activities to the standard rate of 15%, up from 10%. The Honourable House is asked to note that over the years, the Government of Jamaica has provided special tax treatment to the tourism industry to alleviate the tax burden and propel the industry to a level of maturity. This support was delivered through targeted tax credits, including the special tax credit, STC, and the special alcoholic beverages credit, SABC.
The proposed increase is set to take effect on April 1, 2027. But the JHTA president, Christopher Jarrett, says the group has adopted a firm and unified position rejecting the proposed increase. He says providers of tourism activities would move from the current 10% GCT rate to 15%, a 50% increase, significantly raising costs within the tourism sector. Jarrett says although implementation has been deferred to the next fiscal year in recognition of ongoing recovery challenges, the JHTA maintains that any increase in GCT affecting tourism is untenable. The president is contending that the tourism sector is already operating in a highly competitive and cost-intensive global environment. He says increasing GCT on tourism activities by 5 percentage points would directly impact pricing, competitiveness, and ultimately demand. The association further emphasized that the sector continues to navigate elevated operating costs, recovery pressures, and global market uncertainties. Jarrett says an additional tax burden at this stage would risk slowing recovery momentum and placing further strain on operators across the value chain, including the small and medium-sized enterprises that form the backbone of the industry. The JHTA underscored that tourism is fundamentally an export industry, earning foreign exchange for Jamaica, and should be treated accordingly within the national tax framework. The association says international best practice generally supports zero rating or exempting exports from consumption taxes. Historically, however, the JHTA says tourism has operated under a GCT regime that is inconsistent with this principle. In the context of broader tax reform, the association is asserting that the treatment of tourism under the GCT system should be reevaluated, not intensified. The association says any policy that increases operational costs must be carefully measured against its impact on employment and Jamaica's overall economic performance. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Now, the Medical Association of Jamaica, MAJ, is hailing the government's decision to implement a sugar-sweetened beverage tax to safeguard national health. The government has announced a special consumption tax, SCT, on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. The MAJ says it's a historic move to combat the non-communicable diseases NCD epidemic, protect the health of our children, and secure Jamaica's economic future. Meanwhile, the association says it understands the anxiety that the prospect of increased taxation induces in the citizenry, especially for the poor and vulnerable in society. MAJ also notes that parents may perceive that this tax will increase the pressure to find additional funds for lunch money. But the association is highlighting that intake of sweetened sugary beverages have been associated with poor dental health, increased rates of obesity in children and adulthood, as well as increases in the NCDs such as diabetes and hypertension. MAJ says these effects could be mitigated by switching from sweetened sugary beverages to water. And while acknowledging the revenue potential of the tax, the MAJ emphasized that current evidence confirms its effectiveness in reducing population-level sugar intake. It says predictive models further indicate that long-term reductions in sugar consumption will substantially decrease NCD prevalence and prevent thousands of untimely deaths. Additionally, it says if these funds are ring-fenced specifically for health services, the system will benefit or will better be equipped to address the challenges of NCDs. MAJ says it is eager to collaborate with all partners to ensure the successful rollout of this initiative. The Financial Investigations Division, FID, has secured a $12 million cash settlement and the forfeiture of a high-end vehicle as part of an asset recovery proceedings from a matter linked to lottery scamming. The case was heard in the Supreme Court in civil recovery proceedings. According to the FID in a statement on Friday, the case dates back to 2010. FID says in the matter, it's alleged that assets acquired by the defendant, Simnel Mullings, were connected to the proceeds of unlawful conduct. It says evidence was presented by investigators in the case, demonstrating that during the period September 2009 to December 2010, Mullings received several remittances from various senders in the USA in excess of $54,000. The division says under the consent order made in late January 2026, the court ordered the defendant to make a cash payment of $12 million to the FID. Of that amount, $4.5 million was paid to the FID immediately. The remaining $7.5 million is to be paid in 16 equal monthly installments of just over $468,000. The first installment is due by the end of February 2026. The court also ordered for the forfeiture of a 2012 BMW X6 that the FID says is in excellent condition. The division says although the X6 was registered in the name of an associate of the defendant, financial investigations revealed the defendant was the beneficial owner of the vehicle. Principal Director of Financial Crime Investigations at the FID, Keith Darian, says that they continue to use due process to recover illicit benefits.
Civil recovery helps to stop crime from paying. Where the evidence supports it, even where there is no conviction, we will use due process to recover illicit benefits, deter offenders, and protect the public interest, especially when fraud and deception cause so much harm locally and overseas.
Keith Darian, a Principal Director of Financial Crime Investigations at the FID. Director of Corporate Communications at the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, Winsome Callum, says that the company is confident it can meet its February 28 deadline for island-wide restoration. Speaking on the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton on Friday morning, Ms. Callum listed communities in St. James that should be restored by the deadline.
In St. James, communities that should be restored by the 28th of February are sections of Stonehenge, Croydon in the mountains, Retrieve, Fern, New Mills, Senior, Garland, Moko, Camrose, Leith, and Moore Park. And I've been advised that Springfield has already been restored.
The JPS is promising that only less than 10,000 customers will be without power by the end of the month. At the moment, over 17,000 remain powerless. Ms. Callum also listed a number of communities in Westmoreland on track for electricity restoration.
Along the main road, we have Cave, Bluefield, Belmont, and the Belmont Academy. Sections of Orchard Down, I hope that's how it's pronounced, White House Beach Club, sections of Culloden Early Childhood, South Sea Park, Border, which is the border of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, Maxfield to Cornwall Mountain, Darlington, Venture, Castle Mountain, Hertford, Petersfield, Roaring River, Fort Williams and Williamsfield, Friendship District to Strawberry.
Winsome Callum, Director of Corporate Communications at JPS. More than $2 billion has so far been disbursed to Jamaicans under the government's Roofs program. $10 billion has been allocated to the re-roofing initiative. Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., says 2,000 residents in Westmoreland were given cash grants during a handover ceremony in the parish on Thursday.
We will be distributing to 827 persons who have been defined as having severe damage, with a total of $413 million, or more than $413 million. 1,844 persons in the major damage category, which is more than $368 million, and 70 persons in the minor damage category, which is more than $5 million, for a total, for Westmoreland only, out of the $1.8 billion, of $787,550,000.
Pernell Charles, Minister of Labour and Social Security. This is the second batch of payments. During the first handover ceremony in St. Elizabeth on January 30, $115 million was disbursed. The ministry says it is conducting parish by parish rollout, which will continue next week in Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, and St. Anne. The opening of the Belfield Health Centre in St. Mary on Thursday was marred by political tensions. Member of Parliament for South East St. Mary, Christopher Brown, in a statement, says that the ceremony was proceeding smoothly and respectfully. This in accordance with the printed program. However, he says that the event was disrupted at the end when former MP Dr. Norman Dunn was asked to address the gathering.
The program that was prepared was proceeding smoothly and respectfully in accordance with the printed agenda. The Minister, Honourable Christopher Dunn, concluded his remarks, and during my presentation earlier, the former Member of Parliament, who currently serves as caretaker, entered the venue. He was acknowledged by the Minister afterwards and applauded by the audience at the Minister's request, and the program continued as scheduled. However, at the very end of the program, when all that remained was the ribbon cutting, the minister invited the caretaker, who was not listed on the official program, to address the gathering.
In a video circulating on social media, Dr. Dunn was heard addressing the gathering amid an uproar from those in the audience. It led to Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton intervening to quell the tensions.
So I want to say to you, enjoy your clinic. Enjoy your clinic. This is government taxpayers' money at work. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen. Hold on.
Mr. Brown is describing as deeply inappropriate the tone of Dr. Dunn's presentation.
While I anticipated brief greetings, the remarks unfortunately shifted into a political direction. The audience was informed that my history would be outlined, and the tone became partisan in nature. This was deeply inappropriate. The people of Southeast St. Mary have already exercised their democratic right and chosen their member of parliament. The opening of a health center is not a political rally. It is a governance function, one that should unite us in service to the people, not divide us along political lines.
Christopher Brown, MP for Southeast St. Mary. Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says Jamaica's push for efficiency cannot come at the cost of privacy. Speaking at a youth forum held by the young professional arm of the Jamaica Labour Party Generation 2000, he says special groups have been commissioned to prevent instances like those from occurring.
AI must never, ladies and gentlemen, become automated unfairness. This is something that is non-negotiable. If AI touches public decisions, it must be governed. It must be auditable. It must be appealable. It must be secured. Speed must never come at the cost of rights. Otherwise, we don't fix bureaucracy. We just replace an old maze with a new black box. And that is why your government has moved to establish a national AI task force.
The forum, held at the University of the West Indies Mona campus on Tuesday, was held under the theme Beyond Bureaucracy. Dr. Wheatley echoed the call by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness for younger Jamaicans to use their digital expertise to create more efficient public sector processes.
Young people here, this generation, I want to speak directly to you, the students and the young professionals. You are the first generation in Jamaica that treats digital tools as natural. Just like electricity, just like water coming out of a tap. And that gives you an advantage. You don't romanticize slow systems. You can see inefficiently instantly. So I'll give you a mission you can actually act on. Make the Jamaican state easier to use without making it easier to abuse.
Dr. Andrew Wheatley, Minister with responsibility for technology. Turning now to regional and international news, Regional Vice President of the U.S.-based oil and energy giant ExxonMobil, Dan Amon, says his company's investment in the development of gas offshore Guyana depends on the rate at which the country's bureaucracy works and a rules-based system. Amon was speaking at the 5th Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo. He says the same alignment that enabled Guyana's oil success, clear rules, shared standards, transparency, and disciplined execution will be even more important for natural gas. Amon says that with the natural gas development being more complex than oil and requiring different infrastructures such as processing, compression pipelines, and power systems, gas would succeed when the entire upstream, midstream, and downstream value chain comes together in the right sequence. He says ExxonMobil would match the pace of its partners in gas development. The partners include other players, utilities, industrial users, financiers, and regulators. Amon added that ExxonMobil is committed to developing Guyana's gas and maximizing its value and impact for the country through rapid, safe, and smart monetization. International, the Supreme Court has ruled against President Donald Trump's global tariffs, which went into effect last year. In its ruling, the Supreme Court said Trump exceeded his authority in imposing sweeping tariffs through a law reserved for a national emergency. The court says Trump did not have the authority to enact the tariffs, which he pursued under a law meant for use in national emergencies. Congress, not the president, has the power to impose tariffs, according to the justices. The Supreme Court ruled against Trump's tariffs in a 6-3 majority. The move invalidates only some of the additional tariffs President Trump has ordered since taking office last year. The decision has led to vocal anti-tariff organization in the U.S., We Pay the Tariffs, to launch a national sign-on letter calling for full, fast, and automatic refunds. And that's it for the news at 12. Up next, sports.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Mandeville, the wait is over. Parkland is now open at 18 Ward Avenue, bringing the widest range of packaging products to suit all your packaging and storage needs. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Call us at 876-577-9467 or 876-618-6375. WhatsApp 876-577-9065 to make an order. Parkland Industrial Company Limited, the experts in industrial packaging products and accessories.
Love the vibes, the laughs, and the real talk? Then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, up-to-the-minute local and international sports news, this is the Nationwide Sports at Noon.
Good afternoon, welcome to your lunchtime sports report. I'm Oreen Buchanan. The West Indies women will be chasing 241 for victory in the first one-day international against Sri Lanka in Grenada. Batting first, Sri Lanka posted 240 for 6 off their 50 overs. Arshita Samarawikrama led the batting as she scored 66, while opener Hasini Pereira chipped in with 61. Captain and spinner Hayley Matthews took 2 for 46 from her 10-over spell. Sticking with cricket, as CEO of Cricket West Indies CWI Chris Derrin says the West Indies' unbeaten run at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup comes as no surprise, pointing to significant investment in preparation and planning ahead of the tournament. Alric Swaby tells us more.
The Caribbean side stormed through the group stage with a 100% win record, underlining their credentials as serious contenders for the title. West Indies opened their campaign with a convincing 35-run victory over Scotland, setting the tone for what has been a dominant showing. They followed that performance with an impressive 30-run win against England, showcasing both batting firepower and disciplined bowling. The Windies continued their charge with a commanding 9-wicket triumph over Nepal to secure their third straight win of the group. They then closed out the preliminary stage in style, defeating Italy by 42 runs to complete a flawless group phase. Speaking on Mason and Guest, Darren credited the team's success to months of strategic investment by Cricket West Indies in high-performance programs, training camps, and matches.
We've always had this raw talent that on its day, with the right confidence and the right planning, will be very competitive. And we've seen that time and time again. Now, we've had some very good preparation in this instance for these players and this particular team. If you think about the bilateral series that we've had, you will notice we've played a lot of T20 cricket against teams like Australia, gone down to New Zealand, prepared with T20s. We went to Nepal, and then of course Afghanistan and South Africa before this Cricket World Cup.
Alric Swaby reporting for Nationwide Sports.
Thanks, Alric. Now, West Indies will bowl off their Super 8 phase with a clash against Zimbabwe on Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Jamaica time at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Heading into that encounter, Carlos Ricky Brathwaite, former captain of the team, explained that the performance of the team has come as a shocker to most pundits, including himself.
Sammy would probably say he did, but I don't think anyone saw the West Indies playing and winning as convincingly as they have. 100% not. I always felt like this was the right time for this group. They're more mature, they're seeing that with the responsibility being taken, but for them to come out there and beat everyone the way that they did, as convincingly as they did, I didn't see that. And you look I say our group, I'm supposed to be non-biased, but you look in our group and there's the only group I think where every team has won a game, so there were no mugs.
Brathwaite added that how the Caribbean team performed during the group stage proves to him that they are peaking at the right moment.
For West Indies to come out and win those games as convincingly as they did, I think for me, I would say that for me that was the most dominating group stage performance.
Carlos Brathwaite. Now forward Tajay Grant is brimming with excitement after earning a call-up to the national senior squad for Saturday's international friendly against Martinique at 6 p.m. Jamaica time. The Racing United attacker has been in fine form this season in the Jamaica Premier League, netting 12 goals in 22 appearances for his club. His impressive goal-scoring run has now been rewarded with an opportunity to represent his country at the senior level. Grant expresses delight at the call-up, noting that it's a significant milestone in his career. The prolific forward is hopeful of making his senior team debut on Saturday and is eager to bring his attacking prowess and finishing ability to the national setup. With confidence high following a strong domestic campaign, Grant will be looking to make a positive impression and translate his club form onto the international stage.
I was very happy, but at the same time I was nervous, and to be called up is a very high honor and I'm grateful for it. I'm looking forward to it, representing my country and trying to do my best to help the team and to put on a show.
Tajay Grant. Now the Stars of the East Harbour View earned a surprising result on Thursday as action continued in the Ray and Neville Jamaica Premier League at the Harbour View Mini Stadium. The Lenny Hyde coach team clipped Mount Pleasant 1-0 to end a wretched run of form. With the victory, Harbour View still remains second from last, 3 points behind Treasure Beach, but with a game in hand. According to head coach Lenworth Hyde, these gutsy performances could be the difference between relegation and survival.
The fight, that character, that determination, we saw it today. And this is what's going to take us out of the relegation, with some good football to go with it. But the determination and the fight and that will, I saw it in the players. Yeah, sometimes when you're doing your interview, sometimes it's like you're talking to the players. They want to hear what the coach say about the game, So we spoke about it in the halftime break, the second ball. Most of the time we don't win the first ball, but God won a lot. But we always set up the team to get the second ball, and that's what we did.
Harbour View will now turn their attention to leaders Montego Bay United. For Hyde, he's hopeful that his team will put in another workmanlike performance.
Tough. We only have 2 days to prepare for that game. All we have to do is look on some tapes at the Mobile team and see what they're doing and set up our team. And we're playing at home, so we just have to come out here with the same energy. They set a precedence now, so I'll be looking for this performance every game. And we have to start it from in the training, as I said. So we just have 2 days. Most of the thing now is trying to motivate them, try and get them to understand their roles. And I think we can get a good result on Sunday also.
Coach Lenny Hyde. Now 14 finals will be contested on Friday's opening day of the 2-day Corporate Era Championships, which is being hosted at Jamaica College's Ashenheim Stadium. According to Ricky Martin, CEO of the Corporate Era Championships, he revealed that come later today, big plans are in place for the boys and girls 100 meters final.
The first race, a class 4 girls will go off at 7, but about 6:55, we are going to turn off the light. We are going to take them out in some pretty party-looking lights, floodlight, take them to the blocks based on introduction. We'll have humming tune, so the DJ will play probably like an 8 Mile song or something, but to build up with the athlete as well as the crowd.
On the girls' side, Excelsior start as defending champions, while Kingston College will start as defending champions on the boys' side. According to Martin, based on what he's seen, the excitement is fever pitch.
Makele, Excelsior, Wolm, Andrews, Alpha, between those schools, the rivalry amongst these schools, the friendly rivalry amongst these schools, it's fever pitch and it's high. So we expect that. And they are nervous because there was some upset and there was some vibes and the girls hug each other from different schools. And so something like that. I'm bringing that for the spectators as well as the act. And when I did that last year, especially backing up where we actually do school visits. So we're giving something really nice to the patrons and the athletes.
Ricky Martin was speaking on the Mr. Analyst podcast. Those are stories making your lunchtime sports report. We'll be back at 5:25 later this afternoon. Until then, 3 rules: stay tuned, stay glued, and stay locked into Nationwide 90 FM.
heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You send it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
What's everyone talking about? It's Front Page in This Morning. Get the issue of the day this and every weekday morning at 7:20 a.m. on Front Page. This Morning. Morning radio the right way. Front Page is brought to you by ABC Electrical for a better choice in the electrical business.
Recapping our top stories making the nationwide world at noon. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness finalizing changes to cabinet. JHTA rejects proposed increase in GCT on tourism activities. JPS confident it can meet February 28 deadline for island-wide restoration of electricity. I'm Tawna Thomas. You can find the news on our website at rivanews.ai and on the Riva News app available on Google Play and the App Store. Major news next at 5.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special. The Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others, will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, Bronze, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Silver, Nationwide VIP. Breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
our gold category, elite listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to lifetime, impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is Nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90 FM, the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock.
12:35 on the clock. We are on the home stretch of Cliff Hughes Online here on Nationwide 90 FM. My name is George, and I've been here since earlier today with Nora at 9 o'clock for this outside broadcast, where we brought some items to offer to our friends here in Westmoreland who are recovering from Hurricane Melissa. And orderly lines greeted us, and in short order, what we brought, courtesy of our partners and collaborators, gone. And the folks here well behaved, and they are about accessing relief, and they're in lines now at 2 other locations, looking to get in touch with what has been brought here to share with them. We've also spoken to stakeholders in the recovery effort, spoke to the National Land Agency, spoke to the National Solid Waste Management Authority, heard from the head of Region 4 for the Ministry of Education on that side. We've heard from the Custos as well. So we've gone around the compass trying to talk to various people who are involved in the heavy lifting, trying to get Westmoreland back to normalcy and to that E word we spoke about earlier, equilibrium. Now it's time for one of the most important utility providers to take their place and to talk about the work that they've done so far. And the National Water Commission has nominated Water Production and Distribution Manager Rochelle Ricketts to talk about the work that it has been doing. Good afternoon, Rochelle.
Hi, good afternoon, George.
I'm hungry, you know. You eat already?
Yes, I have.
I'm really full. Why, Rochelle, me on my last.
I'll make sure you get something before you leave.
Oh, you hear that? All right, excellent. So, tell me now. We know that in this part of the island, infrastructure of all kind was damaged by Hurricane Melissa, because infrastructure has never seen anything like the force that Melissa brought. Therefore, where the NWC's infrastructure is concerned, give us an idea of the damage that Melissa left in her wake.
Well, it is true that we have never seen anything like this. It was very significant, in particularly the eastern side of Westmoreland and Westmoreland in general.
Yes.
Currently, although the damage was extensive, we are still, actively pursuing repairs and restoration of our facilities. And so we are glad to say that we are currently at 88% as it relates to facilities in Hanover that are operational. We have outstanding Ramble number 1 and 2 and Cops Relift.
Yes.
As it relates to Westmoreland, we're at 72%.
Yes.
And outstanding is Cave, Bluefields, Mount Edgecombe, Numprel, Albany, Duckets, and Duntrout. So we have been doing some work and we have been gathering traction on the ground.
Yeah. Is it fair to assume that everywhere that the public power supply has been restored, that NWC systems are online in those areas?
Yes. We have been partnering with the JPSCO. So as they go along, we have been working along with them. And so our facilities have been coming on stream just the same. We also have an active damage assessment program and restoration program that helps us to, before even power restoration, to identify dislocated pipelines, damaged infrastructure, and equipment.
Yeah. When we spoke to Delana Williams, the corporate public relations manager, earlier about the national picture where NWC is concerned, he did say to us that in some areas, even where there was no public power supply, because generators had been pre-positioned, facilities could come back on stream. Is there anywhere across Hanover and Westmoreland where you're providing water with the use of generators?
Yes, that is true. We have 3 facilities in Westmoreland, Barneyside, Caledonia, and Withorn that are currently with the use of generator. So those areas, although there's no power there, they're in operation.
Yeah. And based on where you are now, you say 88% in Hanover and 72% in Westmoreland. So if I give you another 6 weeks, should everything be back up and running, you assume, across both parishes?
I would say we should be very closer to full restoration. But it is to be noted, though, that although we have been doing our damage assessment with the power restoration, there are sometimes challenges that we face because you wouldn't be able to identify some of these issues with just the physical inspection. So, for example, further dislocation might be there with our pipelines and also damaged equipment.
Yes. Is there any damage across both parishes that you have charge of, Rochelle, insofar as, well, that's national irrigation, but I like to ask the question. The facilities that farmers depend on, which is, of course, irrigation water again, but the question is, as NWC has its installations across both parishes, the major businesses that depend on you, have they been able to get back online by virtue of the work you've done so far?
Yes, all right. I can say for Shuttlewood,
Yes.
there is the Edward Farm. Even before restoration, we were trucking to that farm.
Right.
So, as you would have said, that National Irrigation would have dealt with farming.
Yes.
But where there were requests,
Yes.
we have been filling them.
Yes. So trucked water across both parishes. I'm sure you have a busy schedule.
Very busy.
Yeah. Water quality. That's also an issue because immediately after a disaster, the literature shows you that, the danger of water being contaminated or not being treated properly. And I know that NWC has an outstanding reputation where the quality of the product has concerned, as evidenced by the number of awards the company has won over time at various international award ceremonies. But what have you done to ensure that the quality of the stuff that you're producing
Eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams. Hands were steady.
Will the NWC pump safe water through the pipes because the NWC is not in the business of pumping contaminated water for you to use for potable purposes. That's the word. Break time. Back with more after these to Fuse Online.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be.
Living in shared spaces can bring challenges. That's why the Commission of Strata Corporations facilitates fair dispute resolution. Whether you're a proprietor or representing the corporation, you can apply using our online form. Our neutral forum allows issues to be fully aired and resolved under the guidance of the Act. We may also issue orders on matters like demolition of extensions, removal of unauthorized vehicles or animals, and varying excessive maintenance contributions. Apply for dispute resolution with the Commission today. Visit reb.gov.jm for more information.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Upper total tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had
Welcome back to Cliff Hughes Online. I wonder if we can squeeze in 2 or 3 calls before we go. Why not? Michelle? Michelle, is assisting you on the other side? Kevin? Okay, Kevin. You can invite a couple before we go. Just while that happens, a gentleman came to me. He's from Southwest St. Elizabeth. He says his name is Rocky. And Rocky says I must big up his MP, Floyd Green, and Kemisha Clark. So I said, why I must big them up? Him say, the Dalintoba Road. Him say they get a new road in Dalintoba. Him say Baba Green carpet. Him say you can lay down on the road, dry your sheet and go sleep the way the road smooth and nice. And he wants to thank his MP for Southwest St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green, and Kemisha Clark for putting in that new road in Dalintoba in Southwest St. Elizabeth. Rocky is saying thanks, Minister, and Kemisha for the new Dalintoba Road, carpeted from end to end. And he says Baba Green, so big up Floyd Green, with a lot of emphasis on the green from Rocky. The other note I have here, a gentleman came to see me from Rowtown. He says, Mr. Davis, politics is in everything. He says Rowtown is one of those communities that have traditionally supported the Jamaica Labour Party. And he says Rowtown is the only part in White House where the debris from the hurricane is still there. The zinc and everything dashed down upon the road. He says it's an area that was strong supporters, that strongly supported Danny Lawrence in the 2020 general election, and also supported Danny Lawrence again on September 3, 2025. And him said, boy, we're suffering on that because Danny out of power now. And according to him, neither the councillor nor the member of parliament for Eastern Westmoreland have visited Rowtown even once. And he says they're up against it with the debris. And it's because of politics, because it's the only part of White House that no debris has been removed from. And he says, according to him, is the only part of White House where none of the elected representatives have turned up to find out what's happening and what they can do for residents. So, yeah, that's the word from a gentleman who came to see me from Rowtown. A lot of people came to see me and to see the rest of the team. We have enough listeners down here, man. Plenty. Anyway, I hear that Ellsworth is online. Good morning, good afternoon, Ellsworth.
Good afternoon, George.
What are going on, man?
I've been waiting for morning from Nora, but I was told that to be patient, and I am patient.
Hear me now. Talk to me now. What are you saying?
However, I want to bring up a topic in regards to the compassionate unit in Jamaica, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
yes.
if it's the only one that is in Crossroad, but last year, June, they gave my wife a commitment that they would have paid a percentage of her surgery. So we went ahead and the doctor hesitantly did the surgery because they complained that when they do surgeries with the compassionate unit, they never get paid on time. Yes. It's a year, 2 years. And I didn't want to make that a believable item in my mind. So when it was done, I said I would wait for about a month or two. And from that time until today, even though we keep dialoguing, the doctor himself keeps sending emails, etc. to them to be paid. Up to this day, we can't have a solution on the doctor's payment. And I know that if you're going to make a commitment, you must have procured where that money is coming from before you can give such a commitment.
Yes, sir.
And up to now, George, they have not received payment. And I understand, I can't speak for sure, but this is what was said, that there are several outstanding payments before and still not paid.
Yes.
And it's a shame.
Remind me again, how long ago was the surgery performed?
The surgery was done on June 30th, 2025.
Okay.
And to date, sir. And
here's what you do.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. Give Kevin your number. Kevin, when Nora comes into office, she will make some calls for you and find out what's happening, why the bill has not been settled.
Right.
All right, because that's what you want, the bill to be settled.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So leave your number with Kevin, and when Nora gets back to town, she'll get the number and she'll do some calls for you, and then she'll call you back.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, man. Thank you. All right. My producers reminding me that we did invite the Member of Parliament, Dr. Dayton Camp, but he indicated he had another engagement and could not make it. We've been in dialogue with him, and he said he'd be at another, it was an event in Betheltown, the commissioning of some electricity thing being switched on. So he said he had to be there, and he had made those commitments before, so he couldn't be here this afternoon. So we did ask him, and he explained that he would be unavailable, and he told us why he would be unavailable. All right, just in case you're wondering. All right, I think it's time to say goodbye. The long goodbye, yeah? So I want to say thanks to the National Land Agents, where one agency, one goal for the monetary support extended to today's broadcast. National Solid Waste Management Authority, Jamaica's Beauty, their duty. They also provided some monetary support for our efforts today. We Change Jamaica, creating an equitable and just future for all. They also gave cash to our effort. And the other entity that gave cash to our effort was National Water Commission. They're serving you in so many ways. In terms of kind, Purity Bakery, pure wholesome goodness. Thank you for your support. Digicel Foundation, helping to create a world where no one gets left behind. And Miss Birdie. Miss Birdie says love is the best ingredient. Purity Bakery, Digicel Foundation, and Miss Birdie, they gave us kind as we put this outreach together. Our hardworking team members, Janelle Hughes Headley, thank you. Thank you to Michael Paul. Thank you to Stephen Harker. Thank you to Natiri Powell. Thank you to Nora Gay Banton, Jermaine Compass, Nigel Austin, Joan Shervington, thank you. Thank you, Diana Buchanan. I see Sonia Powell on the list. Sonia is married to Mr. Powell. Oh, wait, I never know Sonia married. That's Stuart Sunday name. What a thing. Sonia and Nora give your husband named Powell. So who in the office named Powell? Natiri named Powell. So I don't know, Sonia. Anyway, I start calling her Sonia Powell. You understand? Good afternoon, Sonia and Jada Edwards. Good afternoon to you as well, and thank you for your work in coordinating our activity here. We're heading now back to town, and we have to stop at Border because if I say one more word after the broadcast is finished, I will collapse because I'm hungry. So the folks at Border, put on the fish to me soon reach. All right, and thank you to those who listened and watched with us and commented in the chat this afternoon. Really appreciate you. My name is George. Good afternoon.
You've just heard Cliff Hughes Online.
Like a rock. My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be.
Welcome to Oasis, brought to you by the New Testament Church of God, 65 Waltham Park Road, Kingston 11. The church that is one big family.
Hi, I'm Loyal Gale. Thanks for joining me. Man of courage Moses is pursuing his task of leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Once again, the group faces a desperate situation.